Once upon a time, in a busy city, there was a wealthy businessman named Ethan Miller. Ethan was in his early 30s and had built his fortune from scratch. He owned a big company, a beautiful mansion, and drove an expensive car. But despite having everything a person could wish for, Ethan felt lonely. He had lots of money, but he didn't have someone to share it with. He didn't have a family, and he often spent his evenings in his big house by himself, with only his work to keep him company. One day, Ethan came up with an idea. He had heard about a new service where people could hire wives for a week. The idea was that you could hire someone to pretend to be your spouse for a short time, to attend events, help with chores, or simply keep you company. Ethan thought it sounded like a good idea. He needed someone to help with a big charity event he was hosting, and it would be nice to have someone around the house to talk to. So he hired a woman named Maya Evans. Maya was in her late 20s, kind, cheerful, and hardworking. She didn't come from a rich family, but she was determined and ambitious. She had been working different jobs to save money for her dream of opening her own bakery one day. Maya had never imagined she would be hired by a millionaire to pretend to be his wife, but she needed the money, so she agreed. When Maya arrived at Ethan's mansion, she was amazed by how big and beautiful it was. The marble floors, the grand staircase, and the large windows that looked out over the city made it feel like a palace. Ethan greeted her with a polite handshake. He was tall, with sharp features and dark hair, but he didn't smile much. He seemed serious, almost too serious for someone so young. "Hello, Maya," Ethan said in a businesslike tone. "Thank you for agreeing to help me. There's a charity dinner this Friday, and I need someone to accompany me as my wife. You'll also be helping out with a few tasks around the house. We can discuss the details later." Maya nodded and smiled warmly. "Of course, Mr. Miller. I'm happy to help in any way I can." The first day of the week was a little awkward. Ethan was busy with work and meetings while Maya helped clean the house and take care of small errands. They didn't talk much at first. Ethan was focused on his work, and Maya didn't want to step out of line. But as the days went by, something changed. Ethan started to notice how warm and friendly Maya was. She didn't care about his wealth or his business. She was kind to everyone she met, from the housekeeper to the gardener. Maya had a way of making everyone feel important, and Ethan couldn't help but admire that. One evening, after a long day of work, Ethan and Maya sat down for dinner together. Ethan had ordered food from a fancy restaurant, but Maya insisted on cooking something simple instead. A homemade pasta dish with fresh tomatoes, basil, and garlic. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "You cook?" Maya smiled. "Yes, I do. I've always loved cooking. It reminds me of home. My mom used to make this dish for us when we were kids." Ethan took a bite of the pasta and was surprised by how good it tasted. "Wow, this is amazing. I didn't expect that," Maya laughed. "It's just a simple recipe, but food always tastes better when you make it with love." Ethan looked at her for a moment, a little surprised by her words. "You really love what you do, don't you?" Maya nodded. "I do. I think it's important to find joy in the little things. Life is about the moments we create, not just the big achievements." Ethan thought about what Maya had said. He was used to focusing on success, work, and money, but he hadn't thought about the simple joys in life for a long time. As they continued to eat, they started talking more. Maya told him about her dreams of opening a bakery, and Ethan listened intently, fascinated by her passion and ambition. Friday night arrived, and it was time for the big charity dinner. Ethan had invited many important people, including business partners, celebrities, and philanthropists. Maya had helped him choose what to wear, and she looked beautiful in a simple, elegant dress. She didn't have expensive jewelry or fancy makeup, but there was something about her that made her stand out. As they entered the ballroom, Ethan noticed how everyone's eyes were on Maya. She had a natural charm and grace that made her easy to talk to, and she made everyone feel welcome. Ethan couldn't help but feel proud to have her by his side. Throughout the evening, Maya and Ethan talked to guests, smiled for photos, and attended speeches. But it wasn't just the fancy event that made Ethan feel different. It was the way Maya made him feel. She wasn't just there to look pretty or impress people. She genuinely cared about the cause, and she was kind to everyone, no matter how rich or important they were. After the event, as they were walking back to the mansion, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about how much fun he had had with Maya. She wasn't like the women he had met before, who were always interested in his money or status. Maya cared about people, not their wealth, and that was something Ethan admired more than anything. The next few days passed quickly, and before Ethan knew it, the week was coming to an end. Maya had helped him with so many things, arranging meetings, cooking meals, and even just keeping him company. She had done everything with a smile, and Ethan couldn't help but feel that he was starting to miss her. On the last day of the week, Ethan was sitting in his office, staring out the window. He was thinking about everything that had happened over the past week. Maya had changed the way he looked at life. She had shown him that it wasn't about how much money you had or how successful you were. It was about the people you had around you, the love you shared, and the simple joys in life. Ethan knew he had to tell Maya how he felt. He stood up, walked to the door, and found her in the kitchen preparing breakfast. "Maya," he said softly. She looked up, a smile on her face. "Good morning, Mr. Miller. I hope you slept well." "Maya," Ethan repeated, taking a deep breath, "I need to be honest with you. This week, you've changed my life. I've spent so much time focused on work and money, but you've shown me that there's more to life than that. I don't want you to leave. I don't want this week to end." Maya blinked in surprise. "Ethan, No," Ethan said, cutting her off gently. "I'm not asking you to stay just because you helped me with this job. I'm asking you to stay because I've fallen for you. I don't want you to go." Maya's heart raced. She had never expected this. She had enjoyed the week more than she could have imagined, but she never thought Ethan would feel the same way. I I don't know what to say," Maya said quietly, her voice full of surprise and uncertainty. "You're a millionaire, Ethan. You can have anyone you want." Ethan stepped closer, looking at her with sincerity. "I don't want just anyone. I want you, Maya. You've shown me a side of life I've never known before, and I don't want to let you go." Maya stood there for a moment, her heart beating fast. She hadn't expected Ethan to say that. For a second, she thought she might be dreaming. The man she had been hired to pretend to be a wife for had just confessed that he wanted her to stay, not as an employee, but as someone he truly cared for. "Maya, I know this sounds crazy," Ethan continued, his voice filled with hope. "I don't want to pressure you, but I can't ignore how I feel. I've never felt this way before." Maya took a deep breath, her mind racing. She had come to admire Ethan over the past week. He wasn't just the rich, successful businessman he appeared to be. He was thoughtful, kind, and caring, especially when it came to the people who worked for him. Maya had felt comfortable with him, something she had never felt with someone so wealthy before. But this was different. Ethan wasn't just asking her to stay because of the role she was playing. He was asking her to stay because of who she was. I I don't know what to say," Maya finally said, her voice trembling slightly. "You're a millionaire, Ethan. You could have anyone you want, but I'm just me. Maya, I don't know if I can fit into your world." Ethan smiled softly. "You don't have to fit into my world, Maya. You are my world. I don't want someone who's going to pretend or change to fit into my life. I want someone who's real, and you're real." Maya's heart softened. She had never thought of herself as someone who could belong in Ethan's world, but his words made her feel like maybe she could. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't so different from him after all. "I don't know what the future holds, Ethan," Maya said quietly, "but I'm not asking for a fairy tale. I'm just asking for a chance to see if this could be real. I don't want to rush into anything either." Ethan's eyes lit up with relief. "I'm not asking for anything fast, Maya. I just want to spend more time with you. Get to know you, not as my hired wife, but as you, the real Maya." Maya smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. "Okay," she said softly. "I'll stay. But let's take things slow. I want to make sure this is something we both want." Ethan reached out and gently took her hand. "I promise, Maya, we'll take it slow, but I won't let you go. I just want you to know that." Over the next few days, Ethan and Maya spent more time together, but in a way that felt comfortable and natural. They weren't rushing anything. Instead, they enjoyed simple moments, talking over breakfast, going for walks in the garden, and sharing stories about their lives. Maya showed Ethan how to bake some of her favorite recipes, and Ethan took her on a surprise picnic to the park. They laughed and joked, and as they spent more time together, they both realized just how much they had in common. Maya was amazed by how Ethan treated her, not like an employee, but as an equal. He respected her dreams, listened to her ideas, and made her feel valued. And Ethan was surprised by how easy it was to be with Maya. She brought out the best in him, making him see life in a new light. He no longer felt like he needed to fill his days with endless meetings and business deals. He wanted to fill his life with moments like these, simple, genuine moments with someone who truly cared. One evening, as they sat on the balcony, watching the sunset together, Maya looked at Ethan and said, "You know, I never thought this would happen. When I first came here, I was just doing my job. I never imagined I'd be sitting here with you, like this." Ethan smiled, his eyes soft and full of warmth. "I never imagined it either, but I'm so glad it did. You've changed my life, Maya." Maya looked down, her cheeks turning pink. "I never thought I'd be the one to change your life. I mean, I'm just a girl with a dream of opening a bakery. But somehow, I feel like I found something here. With you." Ethan gently took her hand. "You've already changed my life, Maya, and I want to be part of your dream, whatever it is. Whether it's your bakery or your life, I want to be there." Maya looked up at him, her heart racing. "You mean that?" "I do," Ethan said, his voice filled with sincerity. "I want to be with you, Maya, not because I hired you, but because I've fallen in love with you." Maya's breath caught in her throat. She had never expected to hear those words from Ethan. She had come into this situation thinking it was just a job, but now it felt like something much more than that. "I don't know what to say," Maya whispered, feeling overwhelmed by the emotions flooding her heart. "You don't have to say anything," Ethan replied, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Just know that I mean every word, and I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes." Maya smiled, her heart swelling with happiness. She had never thought she would find love like this, especially not in a world so different from her own. But here she was, sitting next to Ethan, knowing that something beautiful was growing between them. As the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Maya took a deep breath and said, "Okay, let's take this one step at a time. But I'm willing to try, Ethan. I'm willing to see where this goes." Ethan smiled, his heart filled with hope. "That's all I want, Maya, just a chance." From that moment on, everything changed. Ethan and Maya took things slowly, but their connection grew deeper with each passing day. They spent time together in ways that felt natural and easy. Ethan learned to appreciate the small things in life, like the smell of freshly baked bread or the sound of Maya's laughter when she told him funny stories about her childhood. Maya, in turn, found herself falling more and more for Ethan, his kindness, his patience, and the way he cared for the people around him. Ethan started to see his life in a new light. The mansion that once felt like a cold, lonely place now felt warm and full of life whenever Maya was around. Her presence made everything seem brighter. He didn't need all the wealth and success to feel complete. He realized that having someone to share his life with was what truly mattered. One sunny afternoon, Maya and Ethan were walking through the garden, enjoying the beauty of the flowers in full bloom. As they strolled along the path, Ethan stopped and turned to her, his face serious but filled with emotion. "Maya," he began, "I've spent so much of my life working, building this empire, but it's never felt like enough. Not until now. You've shown me what really matters: love, kindness, and sharing moments together. I don't want to spend another day without you in my life." Maya felt her heart race, her throat tightening with emotion. She had never expected to hear those words, and yet, here they were. "You've changed my life too, Ethan," Maya said softly. "When I first came here, I was just looking for a job. I never imagined that I'd find someone like you, someone who sees me for who I really am. And now, I can't imagine my life without you in it." Ethan took her hand in his voice full of sincerity. "Maya, I don't just want you in my life for a week or a month. I want you by my side forever. Will you marry me?" Maya's eyes widened in shock, and for a moment, she couldn't speak. She had never imagined that this would happen. But as she looked into Ethan's eyes, she realized that this wasn't just a moment of passion. It was real. He loved her, and she loved him. Yes, Ethan, Maya whispered, her voice trembling with happiness. Yes, I will marry you. Ethan's face broke into a wide smile as he gently pulled her into an embrace. I love you, Maya. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Maya smiled through her tears. I love you too, Ethan. I never thought this would happen, but I'm so glad it did. As the months passed, Ethan and Maya's life together was everything they had hoped for. Maya helped Ethan with his charity work, and they traveled together, exploring new places and enjoying each other's company. They worked on opening Maya's dream bakery, which was a huge success. It wasn't just about the money, it was about doing something she loved and making a difference in her community. Ethan continued to run his business, but he found that he no longer needed to focus on it all the time. With Maya by his side, he felt balanced and at peace. They were a team, and together, they had everything they needed. On a beautiful spring day, surrounded by friends and family, Ethan and Maya got married in a small, intimate ceremony. The mansion that had once felt empty was now filled with love, laughter, and joy. As they exchanged vows, Ethan looked into Maya's eyes and whispered, I promise to love you, support you, and make every day special, because you are the best thing that ever happened to me. Maya smiled, her eyes sparkling. And I promise to always be by your side, through the good times and the bad, because you've made my dreams come true. The crowd cheered as they shared their first kiss as husband and wife. For Ethan and Maya, this was just the beginning of a beautiful life together. Lesson of the story. The story of Ethan and Maya teaches us that true happiness doesn't come from wealth or success. It comes from love, kindness, and meaningful connections. Sometimes we get caught up in chasing material things, thinking they will bring us fulfillment. But it's the simple moments and the people we share them with that truly matter. Genuine relationships and staying true to who we are can change our lives in ways we never expect. Always be open to the unexpected, because sometimes the most beautiful things in life come from the simplest acts of kindness.